Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Otaku Sentai Podranger. This is your host B-Shuck.
And Ben. And she.
And Dio.
And Lane.
Yeah. Sorry, let me just get this out of the way, guys. For those tuning in, if it wasn't clear enough already, yeah, I'm not feeling well, so I won't be putting in too much input this time around.
Our fellow
And we
ranger
are
has been
also-
afflicted with the #1 viral infection.
Yeah. Yes, and we are also down another member tonight, but we'll still keep things rolling because we still have some exciting developments in Gozyuger to talk about. We have the conclusion to our first battle with Goryudo, a heartfelt but sort of silly one-off episode, and then the beginning of an arc with a new universe warrior to talk about today. And so we're just going to get right into it with episode 9, Unbreakable Wolf. So of course this carries on right from where the last episode left off, with Hoeru feeling defeated and giving up on being a Gozyuger, and he's now he now has a new job as a butler for his brother's AI company. He has a new alias as Butler Lonely Wolf, and he's now completely closed himself off. And of course, Fire Candle doesn't take kindly to this, because he sees that someone he once saw as a rival has now become someone completely different. So some shenanigans ensue, with him trying to break through to him and sort of get him out of the fog that he's in. And
This is a funny episode because he does all this and then he just also doesn't know what currency is.
oh yeah,
Like he's like, oh, look at all this food, and then they're like, hey, you got to pay for that. And he goes, what's paying? They're like, well, all you need to know is that you're gonna work for us. And so they end up because Hoeru, he's got like a mask on throughout this episode. So because part of me feels like uh Fire Candle kind of knew who he was, and kind of understood that he was trying to hide his identity, just because everything that we'll kind of see Fire Candle go through along with Hoeru in this episode, it all kind of works out. There's a competition that goes on between Butler Lone Wolf and Fire Candle on who can bring in basically the most customers, the most money, most business. And we can kind of go through that here in a second.
I love Fire Candle. He's great. He comes in at the perfect time. Like every time. He adds so much. He's a good rival character. Without exactly being a rival. But I don't know.
Yeah, because I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of say the Hashilians from Boom Boonger, the last season, they were always they weren't the main antagonists, but they were at least central antagonists. They were always, at least if there was a scheme, it was their fault, and that's kind of what Fire Candle is. But what I like about Fire Candle in this series is that it's more so that he's straight up, specifically. It's yeah, of course he's a central antagonist to the Gozyugers, but he almost feels like he's straight up a rival to Hoeru. And so I don't know if this has been done before in the other seasons, where the central antagonist would be I'm specifically targeting the Red Ranger or any other Rangers. But not only is he that, but he also kind of calls back, and his entire character pays homage to that central antagonist who is always getting the crap kicked out of him every single episode, but still getting up and coming up with new schemes. Because we kind of see that a lot with their the challenge that they go through trying to get like new business. Say like Lonely Wolf is charming customers uh the while a Fire Candle is like he's kicking people out for causing a ruckus type stuff.
Yeah, and we even get like a really nice sort of heart to heart moment between Fire Candle and Hoeru, where he sort of, explains his ethos to him of, never letting his fire go out, even when he loses over and over. And even, thanks him for sort of like inspiring him to get out of his funk. So it really shows that, like, even as an antagonist, he is like, a fully fleshed out character with his own motivations and ideals. And that's a pretty like common theme throughout the show, that like all these characters, um, even though they're in conflict with each other, they all have something about them that, but for the most part, they all have something about them that, makes you sort of relate to them, or like even want to see them succeed. Except for Kuon. He's kind of an irredeemable bastard right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like quoting the Ranger Wiki, Horu exclaims that he's scared of losing someone important to him, and he's scared of being betrayed by the people he cares about, which is why he's completely fine being an outcast and a lone wolf. To which Fire Candle shows his dissatisfaction upon the fact that Butler Lonely Wolf is even more low than a loser dog, and proceeds to give his point of view about the competition of being number one. And he goes on, he tells them that what he seeks in those battles isn't the prize, but just the thrill of the fight. And like this is why I think that he knew just a little, like, maybe he didn't know, but kind of at least sees someone like Horu within this stranger here, where he's like, he wants to fight, quote, that guy, and fully feel his passion in like his shape of soul. Yeah. He doesn't mind losing as long as his flame keeps on blazing.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's such a guy to be. I
Oh yeah.
respect that.
That's
Oh
something I
yeah.
really enjoy, where it's like the central antagonist is like, yeah, they're bad guys, but they're also, it's like, you I don't want to say love to hate them, because it's more of just like, it's like, yeah, they're doing their own thing. They're not necessarily like, it's like, yeah, maybe the people that they like are under are kind of bad, like the queen that he serves. We don't really know much about what her whole deal is. But yeah, like I really enjoy like the central antagonist. And I'm like I said with Boombunger, like I really enjoyed the Hashilians. Uh like their story was really, it was bittersweet by the end there. And I'm wondering if we're gonna get something like this, or something like what the central antagonist went through in Boombunger, kind of like in this, almost like calling back and like paying homage to all of those central antagonists that really made the protagonists like who they are as heroes. So yeah, as a driving force, like this really like set in stone how I feel about Fire Candle.
Oh yeah. But then, while all this is going on, we have the other Gozyugers trying to figure out why Hoeru had the crash out that he did. But then they come in contact with the person responsible for that crash out, his older brother Kuon, who basically goes into this just terrifying spiel about how he views his little brother as a puppet, and how he wants to control every facet of his life. And it's honestly just, it's a really terrifying depiction of like that kind of family member that just, almost views his little brother as like his own property, instead of like his own person with agency, which obviously ruffles the feathers of the Gojoogers, and then leads into another big fight between the two sides. And and yeah, as that fight goes on, which Garudo impressively is able to single-handedly take on the other four Gojoogers pretty much with ease. Just like, of course, with the assistance of the past rangers that he can summon. He summons Geki Red, Spade Ace, and Denji Red to do his bidding for him, and he's able to easily overpower the Gojoogers and even steal Goju Leon's Boom Boonger ring. So,
Dude, I was like, give it back.
He needs
yeah.
it. It's part of him now.
Thankfully, the Sword is able to get in contact with Hoeru and sort of, get him to see reason by showing him a vision of the ensuing fight and, motivating him to face the reality of the situation and go help these people that he's formed bonds with that, he doesn't have to close himself off because even though the Gojoogers are in competition with each other, they still have this human connection with each other. And humorously, the Gojoogers express this by talking about the debts that Hoeru owes them. Because Hoeru sort of,
Oh man.
they've all treated him with kindness in one way or another, and they expect Hoeru to pay those kindnesses back. And which ties in with episode 1. Even though Hoeru doesn't have any wishes or desires, he always pays his debts back, and that sort of snaps Hoeru out of his funk and makes him realize that he's got to go and help his teammates. And yeah, that's pretty much what happens. He gets back into the fight, and he gets so fired up in his resolve that he's finally able to awaken his own personal weapon, the Wolf de Caliber 50, which is a sword that can cut open portals and do all sorts of crazy shit with that. And
this
yeah,
man
he's
will
able
go through hell and back to pay $1.65.
That's exactly right. That's what happened in
Man,
the first episode. And
this man is a hero. This man is number
Oh,
one
yeah.
hero.
truly,
He has 0 credit card debt. He's good at paying things off.
he has
This
0
man a
credit
gold
card
card.
debt because he's never seen a credit card in his life.
His credit score 0.
No, his credit score is 1 because
Oh,
he's number 1.
Number
one
one,
credit
yeah.
score. Okay.
But
Yeah,
yeah, with
that's a good callback to episode 1, where he's like, "Yeah, I do have debts I gotta pay." Yeah, he declares to Kon that he's done running away and that he won't be scared of losing anymore as he transforms into Gozu Wolf.
yeah,
I think
and
I think
I
we
really
already
liked when
yeah.
I really liked when he was like, even if I am a loser, I'm gonna be the number 1 loser, which
Yeah.
is a very inspiring thing to declare. It really goes to show that like he's not gonna give up, even if it seems like there's no reason to keep going. It's real inspiring shit.
And that's like
But
the perfect thing to say, where it's like somebody who views you as like literally as a puppet, or it's like, yeah, if you think I'm not a puppet, you think I'm just a loser, I'm gonna be the best loser possible just to freaking spite you and prove you wrong. So like,
yeah.
yeah, that's golden.
But
Yeah,
with
he
this
beats the
newfound
crap
resolve,
out of him, dude.
yeah, he's able to demolish Garudo with his new weapon and portal shenanigans. And when Fire Candle comes back into the fray with his King Candler, Hoeru is able to upgrade his Sword Red with his new weapon to create Sword Deca Claw, which has the blade. Has like the blade become like an arm blade for the Sword, and I like how like the headpiece has like a chain come down
Yeah, dude.
on the chest part, sort of like the chain Horu wears. Very cool design.
Yeah, it's
And
like I like how the Megazords, or like just like the Tegazords themselves, Like they're all like at least like um the upgrades that they get. They're slowly like showing more inspiration from like the characters themselves, and that's something I really enjoy seeing. Because I remember when it was the when Boon Red in Boombunger, whenever he got the 119 like firefighter form, uh, and then like when Boon Red was able to like get those water powers. Same with like the lion that he had that was like a fire truck. I was like, man, that's cool because I want to see more like mech designs that kind of call back to that, and like it's already full swing doing that in this show, and I'm so ready
Oh
for it,
yeah.
man. I'm just like there's so much just in this one episode, like uh there's just so much that it's like we got something great to look forward to. And I say that like every single time we see an episode that it's just gonna get better, man. And this is
Oh
just
yeah.
they just keep proving it to us with like these little details like that.
Oh yeah. It's just the beginning. But yeah. So Horu's able to easily able to take down King Candler. And there's this really cool shot where it shows like the perspective of the hole that Hoeru puts into the King
Yeah.
Candler as he pulls the Deca Claw out. It's a shot so good they repeat it in the next episode as well. And yeah.
That's
So
crazy because Fire Candle's like, yeah, I like losing, and then it's like, yeah, seeing that, it's like, oh yeah, he's totally coping. That's rough.
oh yeah.
That's rough.
But yeah, the episode ends with Horu back with his friends, sort of. There's a funny bit where he asks for discounts on all of his debts, since they were so kind as to, you know, let him back on the team, but they're like, nope. Yeah, it goes to show, that there's still a bit of disrespect between them, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it almost makes their friendship feel like even more genuine because, they're not just kissing each other's asses, they still bust each other's balls here and there. And then we get a cliffhanger of Kuon with this fucked up X scar on his back that's like festering, and it opens up a lot of questions about what that's all about. And, makes you wonder if that's
gross, like
the
otherworldly.
source of his evil nature, maybe.
He lost once and just went batshit insane. Not to mention that like the scar directly like relates to his outfit. So that's another time that like the outfit relates to like just like the character themselves.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm really fucking interested to see what like exactly this like power is. If it's even a power, or even it could be just, it looks like it's a curse. But I mean he looks fine with it. Looks like it's driving him crazy, but like man. I mean heck he declares that I'm quoting the Ranger Wiki here. He declares that he won't let Horu escape the #1 battle as they're fated to break each other. And then he laughs in madness before screaming in pain over his ever-growing scar as the episode ends.
And now that leads us to our next episode, episode 10. Go, go, go. Showa has arrived.
This episode rules. Probably my favorite so far.
Oh,
That's what I'd say.
I think so.
I love this episode.
Yeah, this is a great one. It's more of a one-off. We have the Showa #1 monster who reverts, all of society back to the Showa era, making everything old school. And
I don't accept your
yeah, this is like
2025.
oh, what'd you say?
I was just saying, I was like, I don't accept your 2025, and then he just like turns everything back to the Showa era.
Oh yeah, goes full boomer mode. It's sort of a double focus episode for both Kinjiro and Sumino, which works because, Sumino is one of the younger members of the team. She's, very much in touch with like what's new and trendy, whereas Kinjiro, even though he has a young body, he's an older man who grew up in the Showa era. So you'd think that he's more in tune with like Showa era stuff. But when he engages in a Showa #1 battle with the monster, he loses because, despite his old age, he's become quite accustomed to certain aspects of modern living. And of course, his whole dream is like, to become like a party person and to sort of relive his youth. So that does sort of put him in with like trying to live his youth in the Reiwa era. So, as the monster puts it, he's an outcast of both generations, and sort of gives him an identity crisis.
He gets
But
his
this
ass good because he's like
that
Showa #1 is he comes up and goes, "Hey, how do you dial a phone if you're really from the Showa era?" And Sumino starts like he starts scrolling, tapping, stuff like that, and he is he is not Showa anymore. He's moved
yes,
on.
he's been zoomified.
He's young again.
and he gets in his face. He's like, "You're an outcast of generations.
Yeah.
He shouldn't even exist." And it's like, oh my god, this guy
You're
kind
an
of
anomaly.
yeah. This freaking because like I like the design because it's something where it's like I don't really see the inspiration of it, but that also just kind of makes it to where it's like, okay, well it's still it interests me because it's so different. Let's see if I can find a picture of it on the wiki here so I can describe it because it's like a cat thing, like a blue cat thing with like it's like a wavy design. It's so uh it's different, but it still does kind of have that like retro feeling to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy that no one.
Oh yeah. See, one aspect about this episode I really like is how it sort of has this message of like, every era has its ups and downs, and it's exemplified when Sumino is, getting hung up about how she can't, deal with how archaic and antiquated everything's become. But then, she's shown that, because, um, all of the like sort of urbanization and deforestation that's happened has been undone. They can now clearly see the sunset in the sky. So gives her more of an appreciation for like the olden days. And then when they have to come up with a plan to defeat the Showa monster, they basically appeal to his like um, love of old-fashioned things by showing like how, in the Reiwa era, you can enjoy them like more than you ever could in the Showa era. For example, it shows that the Showa #1 is a big fan of this classic tokusatsu series called Kaiketsu Zubat from I think 1977 or 1978, and he's a big fan of it. But they show that only in the Reiwa era can he Photoshop a picture of himself with Kaiketsu Zubat, and even purchase all sorts of merchandise that never would have existed back in the old days. And then of course, even his love for old-fashioned food can now be enjoyed better than ever through Uber Eats, being able to deliver it from
they,
anywhere you're at.
they
That
crushed
Uber,
this entire dude's worldview by being like, "Hey, DoorDash,"
this
and
Yeah.
yeah,
this DoorDash driver just sticks around for like a little bit too long. He's just in the background of a couple shots, and then there's one like pan out shot, if I remember right, where he's just staring into the camera, smiling.
he's like, "What is that thing?" Because like there's like a because it's like, oh yeah, we have classic nori bin, we have spicy nori bin, we have I can't remember like all the nori bins, but there's like different variations that they show him, and oh man, like it just totally just obliterates. He's like, wow, he's like this is rough. It's like I want to live in the future now, and then he just blows up.
Yeah. Yeah, and this gives Kinjiro the edge to be able to finally defeat him, declaring that he's gonna live in the present with the memories of the past, which is a really poignant line that really stuck out to
Yeah,
me when I watched the episode.
me too.
And
I really enjoyed how it's like it's such a unique episode and scenario for one, like for specifically for Kinjiro, because it's like that's rough being like, yeah, you're not even a part of a generation anymore. Like you're just existing. Like and here it's like, yeah, like I don't have to live in the past. I can live in the future while appreciating the past, and while living in the future, that enables you to appreciate the past more with each passing day. And I feel like he's definitely taken that lesson to heart. So he's grown a lot just in this one episode. And Sumino as well, because like she saw that, and she was able to experience like the past too. And yeah, I think it was a really good episode for both of these characters.
yeah, and then at the end of the episode we get so like it's shown at the start of the episode that um Kuon has kidnapped Meguru, who was the Tyranno Ranger Universe Warrior. He's kidnapped him and put him under mind control so that they could use his ability to summon Daijujin to use against the Gozyugers. And they've summoned an evil black Daijujin,
Yeah,
which is like
black and
repainted gold and
gold.
black.
Oh, it's freaking
And
so menacing.
What have they done to my goat?
Yeah,
yeah,
scary, man. They
but
got like a freaking like a visor over his head that's like attached to his skull and everything.
oh yeah,
Oh my god, it's terrifying.
yeah. So the black Daijujin enters the scene and starts destroying everything. But Hoeru has an ace up his sleeve. Using the Ninja Sentai ring, he's able to basically do like this shadow clone technique. Uh, uh, he's able to do this shadow clone technique type thing and summon all 5 Tegaswords to fight simultaneously, and they basically gang up on the Black Taijujin and take it down with ease. And yeah, pretty much wraps that up pretty quickly. They save Meguru, and to award them, Meguru basically offers to become sort of like a helping mentor to them. And yeah, that leads into the next episode, which
I thought Red Ranger freaking died in that explosion. I was like, no way they killed him. No
oh
way they
yeah,
killed him.
it
And
did
then
seem that way.
he just brushes himself off and he goes, "Hey, thanks guys."
Oh yeah, it did really seem that way because it's like we get the
Oh
shot
my
of
god, they killed
Horu
him.
skewering the Megazord,
Yeah, it was like a
and it
callback
blows up
to the episode
instantly.
beforehand with like the hole in his chest.
And maybe this guy's like literally indestructible, like he's an immortal or something.
Could be, bro. He's a Mighty Morphin fan after all.
Yeah, but
And that
Not even
series
his
does not
clothes
seem
were
to die.
stuffed.
but yeah, we now get into this next episode. Unleash the Wild. The Beastmaster plays his flute, which starts off with Rikuo by himself, practicing one of his idol music numbers, when he is suddenly accosted by 2 Universe Warriors who have personal beef with him because their love interests have, in one way or another, betrayed them in Rikuo's name. And so they transform into Juo Eagle and Vul Eagle, respectively, to try to challenge him. But Rikuo is able to make short work of them and steal their Sentai rings. Yeah. And then back at half century, we see that, their alliance with Meguru is already paying off because he's donated them these ring holders to so that each ranger can hold like all the rings they've earned so far. And think I believe Hoeru is in the lead
Yeah.
just because
Horo
he got
has
so many rings from defeating Atami, since
he's
Atami
got
had a lot of his own.
I think he's got 1 row and then like he's got almost 2 rows completed. Or columns, I mean. He's got like 2, 3, 4, maybe
six,
five,
five, six.
I think. I'd say
Okay,
5.
five.
I'd say 5 right now. Because
Crazy how
Rico's
Yeah.
missing Boombunger.
it's crazy how all of these rings have been collected like by the group in just 11 episodes at this point.
Yeah. No, dude, it's gonna be like Pokemon by the end there. They're gonna have so many rings,
yeah.
dude.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we get introduced to our newest sort of main universe warrior of this arc, Gaia Todoroki, who is Gao Red. This guy is basically like a cowboy who like comes in looking to seek vengeance for his fallen lover, who is accosted by what he refers to as a one-horned being, which at first I thought he was alluding to Sumino, like
Yeah,
Sumino did
because
something,
because
but
she wasn't here whenever he came in, and then whenever he said that, I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, it's like that's kind of like her form, and well, it's like a unicorn, and then like she's not here right now. Uh, but we will see her later. And it's pretty funny, but I'll wait until we get to that part.
but yeah,
Yeah, he just comes
oh,
in
yeah,
playing an ocarina that he just like seemingly just carved out of wood. So yeah, this guy's
oh,
cool.
yeah, he has a lot of aura, and
Yeah.
he's portrayed by
Yuichi Nakamura.
oh yeah, yeah, Yuichi Nakamura, who I know most prominently as the man who played Yuto Sakurai, aka Kamen Rider Zeranos from 2007's Kamen Rider Den-O. So another example of a
Den-O!
Toku alumni. Um, yeah, another example of a Toku alumni being cast as a Universe Warrior, which has been a bit of a recurring trend in this show. Very exciting to see him in another role, and another example of an actor who's been in all three Henshin Hero franchises, because he also portrayed a evil Ultraman Trigger from Ultraman Trigger's movie. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, another one to do the grand slam, so to speak. So the number one monster of this episode is the number one tag monster, and
They go, what's up with tag? 'Cause-
yeah, yeah, because in episode 6, as part of the Adventure Castle challenge that they had to go through, they already had to do a tag challenge. So it's funny to see it come up again. But yeah, a lot of the episode is like tag based shenanigans. But Gao Red has a trick up his sleeve. He has an ability where he's able to control animals based on the specific instruments he uses. And using the kalimba, he's able to control Goju Wolf and make him act like a literal wolf um, at his command. And he's able to manipulate him to get an edge in the tag match in a pretty hilarious fashion. And he does the same thing with Sumino. I forget which instrument it is, but it
See if I can
controls
find it on the
horses.
wiki here. Yeah, like it was cool because like I didn't even know, like, because I got the kalimba because I've seen a bunch of videos where like people would play like kalimbas with their dog around. Uh, but this like instrument that he uses for uh Sumino, which it's crazy that he does it because like there's literally like everybody else is there. I was kind of hoping to see like, oh, there's an instrument that controls a T-Rex or something.
I think it was see, the wiki says it was a horse skull. So like,
Oh, it's just
yeah, like
straight
a
up just a
horse
horse
skull
skull.
refitted into like a wind instrument, but it causes Sumino, who is at like this high class summit, like this important event, just causes her to start prancing around like a horse, and she leaves the summit to go join the chaos going on with all the rangers. Uh, yeah, just the
It's
the type
so
of shenanigans that
like, he literally like he plays this instrument and they wait for her to like just in this like horse character go up an entire building onto the roof just to, like kick a dude that's up there. It's like we got a guy who could fly like right here. Just
Yeah.
ask him to do that. You don't have to like freaking control him. I love this guy, man. He is a character. Just, oh my god, that was such a. She's just doing her own thing, and she just gets dragged into all this. And there's like 4 other dudes just like that are like readily available.
But yeah,
Oh, like
so yeah, this
they reached 5 p.m. and that guy's like, "Wait, we gotta go home, guys. We don't want to be late. We don't want to get home after dark. It's an unbreakable rule to not play tag after dusk.
yeah,
So they have to
because it
like
could be dangerous.
postpone it and then like wait to the next day to keep going. There's some stuff that happens at Bryden's base. Oh yeah, so like they kind of just like are planning. Uh, yeah, Fire Candle. This is from the wiki. Fire Candle commented Onigoku's fighting style as the one he likes. Not long after, Bouquet informs Fire Candle that Onigoku is a special experimental no one world monster by Queen Tegajun herself. So the queen was actually she was like she was the one who created this no one, the tag no one. Bouquet declared that she'll provide her aid to Onigoku when needed in the form of Calindius. So she's primed and ready to go when that goes down. And Rikuo is shown at the same place where he practices a dance routine, and is now planning on how to defeat Onigoku and Gaia the next day. And Hoeru comes up by chance, and they kind of plan a little bit. Hoeru is he tells Rikuo, he's like, look, I don't formulate plans, but I'm still gonna become #1 tomorrow my own way.
Oh yeah, that was a really nice moment between those two, and another example of just the wise words that Hoeru can give to his teammates, without them realizing it, and without even Hoeru realizing, how smart he's being, and this inspires Rikuo, who feels like he's like stuck in his ways, and it inspires him to finally break free from his rigidness and go his own way and become his own type of #1 idol, which he expresses in his final battle against battle against Gao Red during the final tag match. But yeah, getting into that tag match, uh it's a simple game of tag. Um, whoever survives the longest wins. But Horu just lets the monster tag him. He just sits there.
Instantly. Now you're it. And he's like, wait, what? He beats the shit out of the freaking Onigoku.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He even
Very
does one of
nice
those flashy
combo
combos
this
to him.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like shanks him a few times with his Wolf to Caliber, and yeah, basically he proclaims he's he plays by his own rules. He's not gonna let anybody else tell him what the rules are, and yeah, it inspires him to win the tag battle in his own way, complete with opening these 2 portals to sort of launch the monster in and create this like high velocity trap for it, which allows him to deliver one final strike that destroys him for good. Meanwhile, Rikuo is dealing with Gao Red, and there's this nice bit where he transforms into Juo Eagle, and Gao Red tries to use an instrument that controls eagles, but the clever thing with Juo Eagle is that he has a gimmick where he can like switch animals, like he has like form changes,
Oh
for,
yeah,
like
dude.
different animals. So he becomes Juo Gorilla, which circumvents Gao Red's plot, and he tries searching his bag for a different instrument to control him with, but Rikuo is able to get to him before he can. And then he switches to Bull Eagle and delivers a really flashy, the type of strike that I assumed just would have, instantly
Yeah, like instantly would have just obliterated.
finisher at point blank.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I did enjoy that because that seems like a really like clever use of like the power system, you know.
I didn't know that guy could like transform into different animals. Seeing him
Yeah, that was that was
actively
cool to see.
transform was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, especially
but
like it kind of put us into Gaia's shoes where it's like, oh shit, he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, as the tag monster is destroyed by Hoeru, it starts festering into this gruesome one-horned monster that turns out to be the monster that Gaia was talking about at the beginning of the episode, and that monster is the hatred #1 monster, which kind of resembles a monster from Gouranger. I forget the name of it, but it see.
This thing looks devious, very devious. Like it's genuinely menacing.
Oh yeah,
It's got like armor,
yeah,
like spiked armor. Uh, yeah, like it's got like a more like pronounced face with the horn on his head, and then like there's like spikes growing out of his head. It's like Rocky spikes, you know what I mean? Yeah, he looks like a freaking monster. Hatred, the #1 hater, bro, is here.
yeah.
That is, oh man, like, oh my god, I could not be more hyped for Sunday, man.
Yeah, he heavily resembles a Duke or Roki, who is a very prominent monster in Gouranger. So it's cool to see them sort of reference a past monster with one that looks very similar, tying in with the returning ranger of this arc. But yeah, that's our cliffhanger, teasing the next episode we have to look forward to. But yeah, this was a pretty good run of episodes. Like it really is just ramping up. And also, sort of feels like we've really gotten into a good groove with this show.
Oh
The
yeah,
new show smell is worn off, but it still has a solid formula going for it
yeah,
that's, enjoyable to watch
Yeah.
every episode.
because it's one of those like I
And
said it, I think last episode where it's like there's a lot that it's calling back to that I don't get. Especially only having seen like like basic Power Ranger stuff and like Boombunger for Sentai. But still like stuff like whenever he's trying to control Zo Eagle and he like turns into the gorilla and it's like, oh shit, he could do that. Oh man, it's still like it keeps you on your toes
Yeah.
even as a newcomer.
oh yeah, but
So yeah, it's like I really enjoy it. And as I keep saying, it's just gonna get better because like the #1 hater, the hatred #1, the hatred no one is just wow. That's quite the design. I'm ready to see that fight because that's just gonna be this is gonna be crazy,
It's gonna be
crazy.
good.
any final thoughts from you, Lane, before we wrap this up?
I I mean, I think it was a good sequence of episodes. I think there's a lot of character development. It's a lot of the past episodes have just been, sprinkling it in like here and there. Um, learning a bit more about like Hoeru and Fire Candle inspiring each other and just like their relationship growing. It was is cool to see. Yeah, I'm surprised by how good the character relations are, and I'm looking forward to seeing where they all end up.
Yeah, because it's such a like uh unique chemistry compared to other seasons.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, oh, you got this, Horu. It's like, hey man, you got debts to pay, buddy. You owe us. For example.
Yeah,
I
yeah, very nice character relationships in this show. It's always great to see.
hmm.
And we finally reached the double digits in terms of
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah.
We
Oh
did it.
yeah, yeah, we're already a fifth of the way through this show, which is
Oh, I don't want it to end.
crazy
I
to
don't
think
want it
of
to end,
already.
bro. Man.
Me neither. But it's only just begun. We still
Oh yeah,
have a lot left to go through. So
absolutely.
the good times, the good battles will keep on rolling. But yeah, until those battles come, this is Otaku Sentai Podranger signing off. See you in the next #1 battle.
See you next game.
See you you guys. Oh my god.
And Dio's not here because his power went out.
R.I.P.
The number one power outage.